This morning we're in the book of Mark, chapter 1, reading verses 10 through 13. And this is directly after the baptism of Jesus. And it reads, "And straightway coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him. And there came a voice from heaven saying, Thou art my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. And immediately the Spirit driveth him into the wilderness. And he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted of Satan, and was with the wild beast, and the angels ministered unto him." And for the date paste, I'm using just these pitted dates from Costco. This particular brand happens to be from Costco, but you can use any kind of date that you like. And I have sliced each date. These happen to be pitted already, but I've taken this steak knife here and I've sliced each date down the center just to double check and make sure the pit has been removed, and because we don't want any pits in the blender. So I've placed them in a large bowl here, and I'm going to cover them with some warm water from the tap. Now, we want this water to be filtered or pure water. So if you have chlorinated or fluorinated water in your area, or you feel like your water is just not clean and pure, please filter it, or either use fresh spring water that you buy and warm it up on the stove, and then cover your dates with that. Now you only need enough water to soak the dates in, and even this is probably going to be too much, but that's okay. Then we're just going to leave these dates on the countertop in this warm water and let them soak for a couple of hours. And then I'm going to come back and I'll show you what to do next. It's been about an hour and a half, and with a slotted spoon, I'm going to lift the dates out of the water and place them into the blender. Now we're going to be using a little bit of the soaking liquid to blend with, but the leftover liquid we can also save in the refrigerator or freeze it and use it in baking items, like when we go to bake something, or maybe to cook some apples with, just so that we can, use any nutrients that happen to leach out of the dates into the water. So this makes a very sweet tasting water. To start with, I'm going to use a half a cup, or about a half a cup, of the liquid in the blender here, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to get just a tiny bit more, just to make a full half a cup. And we're going to blend it into a paste. If it's too thick, we're going to add a little bit more of the liquid. So here we go. Let's see if I can show you the consistency here. So see how thick that is, and smooth and creamy. This is exactly the consistency that I love for the date paste. And it's easily, at this stage, it's very easy to add to any recipes. Let me get this out for you. I'll show you a closer look. So here you can get a little closer look at the consistency. It's really rich and thick, so thus it's a paste. If you wanted to put it on, use as a topping for an ice cream or something like that, you would simply just take a little bit of it and add more water to it and blend it up or whisk it up until it's nice and smooth and pourable, and then it makes a wonderful caramel topping for banana ice cream or any kind of ice creams. I love the banana ice cream because it simply has frozen bananas and then any kind of added flavor that you wanted to add to it, such as strawberries or any other kinds of fruits or nuts, or even cocoa powder. But this makes a wonderful caramel sauce for the alternative ice creams, or really any kind of ice cream. It also can be used in equal parts. I find it to be about equal, but you'd have to do some experimenting just to make sure for your specific recipe. But I find it to be about equal amounts to just regular processed sugar in baking recipes. And let's see what else. I'm going to be using it for a birthday cake coming up. It's a no-bake cheesecake, and I'm making it into a birthday cake, and the whipped cream will be sweetened with a little bit of this paste as well, and also the cake itself, the cheesecake, the no-bake cheesecake. So that'll be coming up, and there's lots of different things we can use this for. Now, I store my date paste in a glass mason jar in the refrigerator, and if I make a lot of it, I'll store extra in the freezer, same way, in the glass mason jars. Just make sure your glass jars are freezable. So normally the canning jars are freezable, as well as a few other types of jars. And that's the date paste. And let me show you how it looks in the jar. And here is our date paste already in the mason jar. And this is the leftover date soaking liquid. Now, of course, it will totally depend on how many dates that you soak, on the amount of liquid needed for the paste, of course. So for me, it was around a half a cup. But then again, I didn't really measure out the dates, so I couldn't tell you what that's equal to. But you just, just start with a little bit at a time of the liquid added into the dates until you can see the consistency that you need. Now, also, the dates, you can make any amount of date paste that you like, as little or as a lot. So it's totally up to you. It's very versatile, and it freezes well, as I said earlier. So this is our finished product. Isn't that gorgeous? The water is, I'm not going to taste it. I tasted it just a little bit ago. It is absolutely sweet nectar. It is a really, really nice, just sweet water. So remember, you can add that to recipes as well. It's delicious with cooked apples or stewed apples, as well as just adding it in to recipes in place of pure water in like your baking recipes or cooking recipes. It's also good in stir fries and things like that you cook sauteed. It's good in sauteed Brussels sprouts. Very, very good. Normally I would use like a grape juice, but this liquid works very well also. So let's give the date paste a little bit of a taste. See how rich that is? Oh, that's wonderful. Very, very sweet and delicious. So this is a wonderful alternative to using processed sugar. It has all kinds of vitamins and minerals in it, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with your friends and family. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here with me at Uplifting Home. Bye now. Love you guys.